Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, February 17th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about the tool of technical analysis and how it can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get started, real quick, just want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm actually offering on Thursday. So if you're liking what you see as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can be used, how it should be used to build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, then there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you're liking what you see and you want to learn more about it and start to build consistency, certainly get signed up for the free class. Before I get to the stocks, a couple of quick clarification points. Number one, that number right there is still moving because, yes, the market is still open for a little bit of time. You're not crazy. The prices are still moving, so you're not seeing things. But I like to do these videos while the market's still open, as sometimes we can capture some really interesting late-day price action. But the market's also close enough to being done for the day, where the levels that I talk about are still going to be relevant as we head into Thursday. And then next, if you're more of a beginner to charts, what I will be using and what these are called are candlesticks, and each candlestick represents 30 minutes worth of time. So in other words, I will be using the 30-minute time frame. So first one here, ticker symbol RBLX, and got absolutely destroyed today. But this is, it's not quite on Facebook's level in terms of popularity, but a lot of people do know about RBLX. A lot of people watch it, which makes this a very interesting scenario moving forward, because you got to think that a lot of people are going to be watching this general trend line right there, which is showing that, yeah, the price has gotten beat down quite a bit. So even after the big gap down, the price just still continue to drift lower and lower. But you got to think that, and while nothing is guaranteed, my point here is it's plausible, it's valid to think that if the price can come up here and break through that trend line, that break could create some good additional upside buying pressure. And while I'm not saying send the price up to close the gap or anything like that, from a trading standpoint, that could create a very tradable momentum that would be worthwhile. So like I said, if you like to play kind of, and I can't even say the word reversal, because I'm not saying the price is going to completely reverse, but even just some sort of dead cat bounce where the price breaks through there and it puts itself a nice little bounce together, then I think a lot of people will be watching that trend line. And the good news is when a lot of people are watching a certain area and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. So in my mind, this area right here around, let's just call it 5450, a very fascinating level on Thursday. Next one, SPCE, which had a pretty crazy day on Tuesday, but today calmed down a little bit. But from an overall standpoint, the chart's still plenty in a bullish environment. You can see, probably the quickest way to see that is you have the 50-period moving average, that purple line, the 200-period moving average, that pink line, both, sloping upwards and, nice separation between them. So the overall environment is still bullish, but no price can just go straight up. So today was just a pullback, and within the pullback has now formed a pretty well-defined level of resistance, and this is just based on a rule, and I talked about this one in yesterday's video, so that's why these annotations are still here. But the rule being that when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So going back to those, along the lines of self-fulfilling prophecies, 1035 is one of those areas where, if the price can get up there and push up through there, then I don't think anybody would be shocked to see the price then potentially push up to those highs right up there at around 1090. Now, what happens when it gets up to 1090? I mean, nobody really, your guess is as good as mine. But, and again, I want to be very clear here. There are no guarantees. So what I'm not saying is that if that price level is broken, for sure it's going up to 1090. All I'm saying is that's at least a plausible thought process to have, given that this area would now be, a pretty focused upon area of resistance. So 1035, 1090 main areas of resistance headed into Thursday. As far as levels of support in more of the near term, you have the key level right there at $9.70, and then you have the purple line again, that 50-period moving average, which is currently valid at, we'll call it $9.35. So those would be the main areas to keep an eye on for SPCE. Next one here, AMC, very nice move on the day, and the price was able to get back above that area of resistance, so that's a good sign. So all I'm going to do is actually just adjust this area of resistance up to now, what apparently is the new battleground, which sits up there right around $20.60, which is not exact, but generally speaking, and that's where the price kind of, showed its hand right there, and then you correspond that back. And yeah, again, not exact, but generally speaking, this 2060-ish area has presented some problems, which doesn't mean that the price will never ever be able to get back above it. I'm just saying that from a bigger picture. So let me scan out here. You can see that, and I don't know, maybe some would disagree here, but maybe a poor man's cup and handle. So we have the handle forming right now, so it's just a question of can the price get back up there and then through it. So that would be the main question right there is, can this cup and handle now, complete itself by getting up to that area and then pushing up through it? But if you like to play these sorts of formations, there you go. But overall, just from a general standpoint, things are, continuing to trend upwards, and really the quickest way to see that is, okay, where's the previous base of lows right there? Where's this new base of lows right there? And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but this base is clearly higher than that base, and that's what you want to see. You want to see these stair-steps being built in the upwards direction. So let's see how this cup and handle formation plays out. Next one here, SOS. Very nice move, very nice volume. As you can see down here, and a nice pattern is taking shape. And also for those of you that like to play penny stocks, well then here you go. So let's just map out this pattern. And I want to reiterate, I'm not trying to come across like this is a great discovery, that I have some sort of special talent. I assure you a lot of people have noticed this pattern. So going back to the whole self-fulfilling prophecy, there's going to be a lot of people watching this general setup here. So the first part of the pattern that stands out is this resistance area right up here at 96 cents. And then along with that, we have this trend line here that's formed. So let me actually change that to green to represent more so the bullish dynamic of things. And then maybe to make this easier, let's just make this all one color. So again, we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the momentum move right there. And let me put a little golf hole down here to make this a little bit more visual. So what we have here is a bull pennant pattern. So if you like to play bull pennants, and especially if you like to play penny stocks, then I would definitely have SOS on your watch list. Next one here, PLTR, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched the previous video where I included this one, but as a quick recap, talked about that red line right there as the initial area of resistance around $14.20. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. The power of charts. Rejected, rejected, and then today, rejected, rejected once again. So 1420 has definitely been solidified as a key breakout area, but just keep in mind that even if 1420 is broken, not too far away, there's that next key level up around the 1440 mark. But if both these areas can be cleared, that would be a very impressive sign of strength on the bulls' part. And then as far as just supports and overall trends are concerned, the overarching level to watch is just going to be that trend line right there, so nothing has changed in regards to that. But the preferable area, I mean, hey, Clay, what's going to make this chart look the absolute best going forward? Well, preferably speaking, if the price can stay above that purple line, and again, beautiful bounce right off of it this morning, then that's going to be best case. But let me be very clear, if the price breaks through that level, that doesn't mean that the entire chart's now epically destroyed. I'm not saying that because, the price would still be above that trend line right there, but those are going to be the main areas moving forward. Next one here, AMD. Talk about a wild ride on this one, especially from a technical point of view. Price came down here, broke through that trend line, which I talked about in past videos, and then things started to get really bad. I mean, it was dropping, and then just like that, leveled out. And then almost a V-shaped recovery as it's gone essentially straight right back up. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get rid of that trend line right there, because the level that really now stands out, I'll zoom in here a little bit, but the key level of resistance is just all about that pink line there, the 200 period moving average, which is a very famous moving average. Even if you are just getting started, I'm sure you've heard of the 200 period moving average. So a lot of eyeballs going to be watching that one as that main area of resistance. Current value of it is right around 118.75. So keep an eye on that as that initial area of resistance. And then you have that next level up there. In fact, I'm just actually going to get rid of that level. We don't want to cause too much clutter. Let's just try to keep this as clean as possible. So definitely keep an eye on that line right there. Again, the 200 period moving average. And then as far as levels of support are concerned, very, very intriguing level right down here at the 114 mark. So that's, where it leveled off today, but actually makes good sense when you factor in past history. Oh, well, it's leveled off there before. Oh, look, it's leveled off there at that data point right there. So a lot of history at 114. So 114, especially for people that are interested in shorts and playing bounces, a lot of people would be watching that level if it comes back into play, myself included. Next one here, SOFI. Very, very nice day on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and do some house cleaning and get rid of that line as it served its purpose. But the first update that needs to come about is just based on the foundational rule that when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, which it was today, you would expect them to act as support. And that's exactly what happened here at 1290. So earlier on in the day, you can see the price broke above it, pulled back, and wouldn't you know it, classic example, that area of resistance now forming as support and push the price back upwards. So moving forward, 1290 is certainly going to be that ideal level, which, as I said earlier, ideal meaning, yeah, if the price stays above it, that's going to make the chart look the healthiest and the strongest. But it's not like if the price drops below 1290, all of a sudden everything's completely destroyed. Not saying that, but yeah, if the price can stay above it, like it's already done, again right there, then that would certainly be the best sign of power. What about areas of resistance? Well, let's squeeze things down here a little bit, just to offer up a bit more context. And the next level here that I think a lot of people are going to be watching and have done is this trend line right there. I mean, that's a pretty powerful trend line where when you map it out and use these points to connect, it did a just crazy, almost scary job of forecasting where the resistance was here. So once again, are there guarantees? No. Is it plausible to think that if the price can get up to that trend line and then break through it, that a self-fulfilling prophecy could cause even more momentum? Absolutely. So definitely keep a close eye on that trend line. Next one here, HOOK. And the only reason I'm putting this one on is it's a bizarre chart. It was looking like things were over, and then that 30-minute session happened right there where the volume came pouring in, and there is a very solid spike right there. And then, of course, things just faded right back into essentially that range where it was. So like I said, this is just pure speculation. This is why you have watch lists, just to keep an eye on things. So I'm not saying you go and just take action. But in my mind, the question is, I don't know, can another 30-minute session show up like that? Maybe an hour session where you just all of a sudden get things, a surge in volume? Because this one showed during this 30-minute that it can move and move very quickly. But to be fair, maybe this thing just stays just chopping around, and okay, well then at that point, there's not really any action to be taken. Or who knows, maybe this thing just drifts back into oblivion. That's possible too. But again, that's the whole idea of a watch list is, okay, something interesting is happening and something interesting happened here, but I mean, is there anything more that's going to come from it? Like I said, nobody knows the future, but at least worth keeping an eye on. So as a level that kind of stands out from a resistance standpoint, that 220 mark is pretty interesting. But yeah, very, very bizarre chart to have things so quiet, boom, big move, and then it just went back to acting as it was. So I don't know. Is there another surge coming? Let's see what happens. Next one here, SNDL. So first thing I need to do is actually extend this resistance line out a little bit. So nothing has really changed from, that 68 cent mark being the main overarching area of resistance. But another nice thing, let me zoom in here, is that always great to see when levels of support hold strong. And once more, this will mean more to those that have watched past videos. But if you have, I've talked about not only that purple line, the 50-period moving average as a key level of support, but also that green line right there. So it was based on timing because that is a moving average. So yeah, that line's going to move higher and higher as each period moves by. But right there, notice how the purple line and the green line basically were matching up. And what a coincidence, right where the price bounced off that level. So again, are charts perfect? No, I'm not trying to suggest that, but are they a tool that should be learned? Absolutely. So quick plug again, get signed up for that free class on Thursday, because there's just a classic example of the power of charts. But point here being is that good to see that level held, price bounced up, staying above the moving average. So while 68 cents is still, definitely within striking distance, the one level here that I think probably even more people are going to be paying attention to than 68 is going to be that trend line right there. So if the price can work its way up to there, which is looking like there's a very real chance, and can actually push through it, then at that point, I don't see why it can at least get up to 68 cents. Now, again, what happens at 68 cents? Your guess is as good as mine. But again, and none of this is guaranteed, and I want to just repeat that because I want you to understand that nobody knows for sure. But like I said, our job as traders is to make logical decisions, to make plausible conclusions. And it is, in my mind at least, plausible to think that if the price can push up through there, it could get up to that 68 cent mark, or excuse me, 68 cents. So 66 is going to be essentially that trend line break, followed by 68. But all in all, the trend remains plenty bullish. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and we have almost a case of deja vu in the sense of what I talked about yesterday. But like I said, essentially the same thing. So as a quick recap, in the video from Tuesday, talks about, oh, look, the price is breaking above that red line. Is this the start of something bigger? And to be fair, at least Tesla was polite and just gapped down and said, nope, not the start of anything bigger. But now all of a sudden, look, crazy 30-minute session right there. But now all of a sudden, the price is, right back slightly above that red line. So case of deja vu, okay, is this the start of something bigger? This wasn't, but who knows? Maybe this actually is. Now, to be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe history repeats itself and it drops right back down. But that's a two-sided coin because, maybe it actually is the start of something bigger, and then a good old-fashioned Tesla breakout occurs, and this thing gets really moving. But the whole idea here is, at least a question needs to be asked. And when questions need to be asked, those are the stocks that are worth putting on watch list because let's just see what happens. Nobody can sit here and say which direction Tesla's for sure going to go, but what people can say is, okay, a breakout has occurred again. Slight breakout. So is this the final, the actual quote-unquote true breakout? Let's see what happens, but I know I'm going to be watching this and very curious to see if the price movement finally getting above that red line, if this is actually the signal of more bullish momentum to come. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, if you want to take your understanding of this tool to another level so you can begin to build consistency as a trader, get focused on the things that matter, then certainly get signed up for the free class. Like I said, it'll be this Thursday. February 17th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So definitely get signed up for it. If you enjoy these top 10 videos, then help me out with a little bit of communication. Hit the like button, leave a simple comment below, even if it's just saying what you traded today, what you're watching tomorrow. Say hi, give me a smiley face emoji. But those two things, hitting that like button, leaving a simple comment below, communicate to me that you enjoy these videos. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I will continue to make them. So definitely get signed up for the free class. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.